Hey guys, welcome back to Mark the Point. Let's just be honest. When it comes to craps, we all are part of this roller coaster, right? We have the good days, the bad days, the good trips, the bad trips. So on my last cruise, I've already talked about how bad it was and brutal. So what I've been trying to do is I've been trying to find a way to be able to stay in the game longer, not have a huge risk, and have a little regression. So I think you're going to like this. Make sure you stay tuned for the full explanation because I have a little caveat that helps us out to keep us in the game a little bit longer. So make sure you don't fast forward. Watch this. Okay, here's the first thing we're going to do. The first thing we're going to do is always get a point set. Let's just say we get a point set and it is on the 9. Not playing any pass lines, no come out action. Just straight inside bets for this start off. Okay, we're not going to place any bets until the point set. Once the point is set, we're going to go 110 on the inside. Now 110's a good healthy bet for a lot of people. There's one thing I did notice on the cruise or the last times a couple played. People are typically just going 6 and 8. They're only going 66 inside. But the problem is it's so hard to build off of just two numbers or even at inside bets at that bare minimum. It's kind of hard to build off of it and to be able to regain your money back, especially if you're only playing inside bets. So with this way of play, let me show you what we can do here. Let's just say you got any of these inside bets to 5, 6, 8, or 9. This is your inside. It'll pay you $35, okay? Now, it will be a little bit different on how we play this if it hits the 5 or the 9 or the 6 and 8 because the 6 and 8 already have that cap, which is a red chip. Let's just say it is the 6. If we hit the 6, what we're going to do is we're going to take all this money. If you look here, that's 50, 65. We're going to drop $1. Let's just say we drop $1 out of our rack to make it 66, okay? One hit on the inside, you have a $66 payment by using that number, and then we're going to pull these bets down. They're going to come back to your rack, and we're going to place 66 on the inside, okay? At that point in time, watch what we do in just a minute. I'm gonna explain, okay? Okay, so let's just pull this bet back and show you what happens if you hit the 5 or the 9, okay? So let's go back at this again. Now, if you hit the 5 or 9, it's going to be a little bit different. Remember, because you don't have the red caps here. Let's just say it's a 5. It'll still pay you $35. That doesn't change. It'll pay you $35. But if you look, you only have $50, $60. So in this case, you actually need to drop down $6. It's almost like a power press or a pressure, if you want to call it. But we are going to still pull the rest of these bets down. And now you have $75, $85 coming back to your rack. But what they'll do is they'll set you up at $66 on the inside. Let me show you what that's going to look like real quick. So they'll set you up at 66 on the inside in case you don't know what that is. Again, still working only your inside numbers, but your 6 and 8 will be at $18 each, and your 5 and 9 is going to be at $15 each. Remember, you've recouped, in this case, $85 minus the 5 or $6 that you dropped. So let's just call it right at $80, right? The first line of defense here, what we're going to do is we're going to gain back our 110. Okay, so that means the first thing we're going to do, let's just say it hits a 5, that'll pay me $21, okay? Well, it's going to show you, I'm just going to change this out just so you can visually see it. So now what we have here is 105, let's call it 106, right? You're looking for 110 inside. That's what you're waiting for. So we're going to get one more hit. Let's just assume we get another inside hit. Now, we're not going to press anything. So now we're officially, call it out the hand plus the $6 that you borrowed, right? But now we are officially out of the hand. We have 66 on the inside, and I have a $10, $11 in profit back into my rack secured. Here's going to be my suggestion. We know that the PSOs are going to come, the one hitting down, or you hit the 4, you hit a 10, you hit 11, and you never hit an inside bet. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to secure one extra shooter before we press our inside, okay? So you see this is our original bankroll back, and I now have $11 in profit. I'm going to wait. It doesn't matter if it takes me 1 or 2 or 3 shooters. It doesn't matter. We are not going to press up this entire inside at all until we recoup an additional 110. And then at that point in time, we're still going to play the regression. But once we have 2 shooters, one the original bankroll, and then plus one additional 110, Then we can start pressing up by 1 or 2 units or however you like to. Okay, guys, I'm going to roll this out. I think this is going to work out really well. Make sure you follow along because I'm going to show you how we're going to get back to that 110, how we still regress and still pull our money back and staying in the game longer. That's what you want to do. You want to be able to grind out really the losses. That way, whenever the big roll does come, you're still set up for it and you're not losing all your bankroll at the same time. Okay, guys, we're going to roll this out. We're going to see how we do. If we can make some money, remember, guys, I say this, I try to say this in every video. It doesn't matter what these dice roll. It could be really, really nice. It could be 20 rollers. It could be 3 rollers, 4 rollers. It doesn't matter. If the dice do not cooperate, it don't matter what you're going to play. You're going to lose, right? If the dice, even if it doesn't matter if you're playing light side or dark side, it doesn't matter. If the dice don't cooperate, any strategy can win or lose. It doesn't matter. We're going to see how these roll out and these 2 or 3 shooters, and here we go. All right, here we go, guys. We're all set up. I have $750 already in my rack. So if I laid out $750 to the dealer, they'll give it back to me. I did get some singles and some fives because I know I'm going to be exchanging that a little bit. So here we go. I have $750. Let's get a point set. Let's grab 2 dice, and here we go. All right, it's going to be the 415. Let's mark the point on the 5. The 5 is the point. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop down 110 to the dealer, okay? Drop down 110, and he'll say, please, or tell them 110 on the inside, 1 more quarter. So 110 on the inside, and we are ready to roll. Here we go. Looking for 1 inside hit, and that's going to be boxcars 12, no help to me. And here we go. And there's aces. How about that? We turned the dice totally upside down. And there's a 6, 4, 2, perfect, okay? So what's going to happen is, remember, the 6 will pay me $35, okay? I'm going to drop down $1 out of my rack. That'll give me $66. Again, that gives me 66. I'm going to pull these other ones down. And so what I'm going to do is, until I know I have my 110 secured, I'm going to put it right here to see where my 110 is. I'm going to replace it, and then I'm going to keep building it out, okay? So now I'm going to put it at 66 on the inside. Let me go ahead and get that set up. And you know what? If you want to drop the dealer a couple dollars, this is going to be a little bit of a chip exchange for them. So just make sure you do take care of your dealers because, you know, dropping from 110 going to 66, and then it does take a little bit of work for them. So make sure you do take care of your dealers when you're doing that. Okay, that's going to be the 549. Remember, our first gain here is to try to get back our 110 totally. So what I'm going to do is, I know that's not quite 110 yet. That is 100. I want to get 1 more hit. And there's the 415. That is our point, okay? So it's going to be another $21. So here's what I know. This is going to be our initial bankroll. Again, this is going to be maybe a little bit longer video because I want to try to show you how important this is to get these back, okay? So that is my 110. That is my starting bankroll, okay? So what we're going to do is, let's pull this back. So now my next stage of this is try to get 1 more shooter, okay? Remember, I am not going to press any of these inside bets. I'm not going to move to the outside until I've secured 1 more 110. So that means I need at least 2 or 3 hits. It may take 2 or 3 shooters to recoup that money. You're not going to get it all in one unless you have just a nice roll that you catch up with. Okay, that's going to be the 617. That is the come out roll. That is a frontline winner. We are not playing the pass line, so it doesn't matter to us. Okay, there's the waitress, the 325. Okay, again, we already got our money set up. We're not going to press. We're going to continue to collect until we have 1 more shooter secured. Okay, that's going to be the 538. Easy 8. Let's go ahead and pay it out at $21. Remember, 18 will pay you 21. And I am going to exchange these out in a minute for greens so we can see where we're at. There's another easy 8, 5-3. Okay, that'll pay me 21. And here we go. That's all right. We got about $50. If you look there, that is $50. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it look like 50. Again, I'm looking for 110. Gives me another shooter before I press up anything. Okay, there's a 9, 6-3. Perfect. That'll pay me 21. Here we go. All right, let's do it. Let's see here if we can get another one here. How about that? Another 538. Nice roll there, right? So that will pay me $21. Again, I'm not pressing up anything until I've secured my 110. And if you look, like that is 75 or 75, 85, 90. That's $90 out of the 110, okay? So that's how far we are. We're not doing too bad here. One more hit, okay, if we're happen to get, this is a lot of inside hits already. If we can get one more hit, let's show you what we can do here. There's the 5. That is the point again. Perfect. Okay, now that's going to pay me $21. We just hit every inside point, which is really, really nice, right? Just so happened. But if you look here, I have 75. That's going to be another green chip. That is 110. We have secured a second shooter, okay? Original bankroll, and now we have a second shooter. Now, at this point in time, the puck is off. Now we can start pressing either 1 unit or 2 unit or however you want to and put a little bit more back into the rack, okay? Here we go, shooter. Let's get a new point. How about that? Another 617 on the come out roll. A perfect time to hit them when the puck is off. Your money is safe. Remember, we always follow the puck, okay? Never work our bets on the come out roll. That's going to be the hard 10. Let's mark the point on the 10. And now let's do a little pressing pattern. We've actually hit quite a few inside bets. That is the 516, okay? So what's going to happen is that 5-1 will pay me 21. At this point in time, you could either go up 1 unit, 2 units. It's totally up to you. I kind of like to go 2 unit increments. That'll take me all the way up to a $30 bet. I'm still racking $10 back into my rack, and yet I still have a $30 bet working there for me. I can pull these back to make it look like $30, okay? And here we go. There's aces. That's a dots in both places. Snake eyes. No help. And how about that? 3-1-4. That's Big Joe, not spreading to the outside. We're playing very conservative here, okay? Very conservative. This is a grinding system. For low bankroll, bad choppy tables. You know, you want to take advantage of the wins, but you don't want to just throw your money out there and be wasteful either, right? So that'll pay me $21. I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna drop $1. I'm gonna go up 2 units. And when I go up 2 units, that'll now take me to a $30 bet. I'm going to put the $10 back into the rack, just like that. Let's go ahead and make it look like $30. And there we go, just like that, okay? There's a 6. How about that? We've hit it again. Again, I love the 2-step increment because what's going to happen here, that'll pay me $35. I'm going to drop down $2 more, okay? I'm going to make it look like $42. I'm going to rack the quarter back into my rack. Again, incremental increase, all right? 3, 1, 2, 3, craps 3, no help. Come on, shooter. And there's the hard 8, guys. That is the square pair. Another inside hit. Another inside hit. I'm gonna drop down $2 more, okay? When I drop down $2 more, I'm gonna say go to 42. Again, I'm racking another quarter. Look at that. We've already original bankroll, 1 shooter. We've already almost got enough for a second shooter. Even if we regressed right now, you would have enough for another shooter, actually. What a long roll. That is going to be another 8. Now, that is going to pay me 50 for 1. What I like to do is, once I get to the $50 bet, I usually go 50 for 1, and I'll just collect this one right here, okay? I collected it, and look here. Now you have secured a second shooter. So now, no matter what, you're in profit, right? You're 100% in profit. You got 2 great shooters. That means you don't have to worry. You're still going to regress. We're still going to play conservatively once we get to it. But you don't have to worry about the PSOs as much because you have a couple shooters ready for you. All right, that's going to be a Yo 11, no help. Hope I hit the chips with my fingers. And that's going to be the 9 sensor field. Let's move these back over. Now, that's going to pay me $21. Again, 2 unit increase. That takes it up to a $25 bet. Let's put these back into the rack, make it look like, how about that? Make it look like 110, almost. And there's a 5, perfect. We've hit all of our inside numbers again. There was not rolling like this on the cruise. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, they did not play like this at the cruise. It was very choppy. I could not get 2 to 3 inside hits or even across hits for that matter. It was pretty bad. This is working out pretty well so far. Don't put your expectations right here because this has not been my normal lately, okay? There's another 6. Check us out, guys. That would be a 50 for 1 if you want to call it that. 50 for 1. I'm just going to go ahead and collect it, right? Go ahead and put that into the rack. Let's grab some more greens. And then maybe the next couple times we can start pressing it up, okay? And there's a 5. Wow, nothing but inside numbers all day. Let's go up to a $35 bet. Let's collect the quarter. And what I may do is, I'll wait and see how I go here. Guess we'll exchange some quarters out in a minute. That is the 617. Okay, that was the first shooter. Wow. What are we, about 12, 14 minutes in, and that was the first shooter. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull everything back. Not too bad to start off our first shooter, right? Again, keep your expectations low. That does not happen all the time. In this case, it was a pretty nice first roll, okay? Let's turn the puck off. Let's get another one going. It does help when you hit that come out roll twice, and there was the 7s on the come out roll, which is big red. That does help us out. All right, that's gonna be the center field, the 6, 3, 9. Again, we've already got our first shooter here. Let's go ahead and mark it up, put 110 on the inside. Looking for one hit. We're gonna play it just the same, okay? Grinding it out, get to your wins, take advantage of the long shooters when they come, and that's gonna be the 6, 4, 2, perfect, okay? So again, what's gonna happen is it's gonna pay me 35, okay? I'm gonna drop $1. I'm gonna make it look like 66. Don't change your system. Keep it going, do the exact same thing over and over. Again, I wanna try to secure that 110, so I'm gonna play it. Let's move this over, and I wanna try to secure that to be 110 on the inside. Again, we are gonna go out for 66 on the inside, okay? Remember, that looks like 15 on everything. It looks like 18 on the 6 and 8. You got a couple chips mixed up there. Boom, 66 on the inside. Let's straighten them up a little bit. The point is our 9. We've already hit 1 and we've regressed. Okay, that's Big Joe to 314. No help to me. And there's a 6 again, 6-2. Okay, that's gonna pay me $21. Grab some more reds here. That'll pay me 21. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna collect. Remember, I wanna try to get to 110, try to secure this up. Actually, let's make that look like a quarter. That's 5. So we've gotten 100. So we just need 10 more dollars to secure our 110. Put the $1 back into the rack. Okay, here we go. Then we can start pressing up again, right? And there is the 5, 2, 7. All right, so we're gonna pull all this back. We wasn't gonna press up until we secured that 110 one more time. That was the 5, 2, 7. So let's go and pull everything back. Let's turn off the puck, and let's do for shooter number 3. Here we go. Let's get 10, the big bin down there on the end. Let's mark the point with 10. Let's drop down. Now remember, so this is 100. We're a little bit short. That's all right. We'll call it 110. Let's try to secure each shooter every time, okay? And there's a 9, 5, 4 center field, okay? It's gonna pay me $35. So in this case, remember, I don't get everything, so I have to drop down, I call it a little bit more money. Let's just pull it out of here. We got to drop down $6 to make it look like 66. And I'm gonna pull the rest of this back. So now I know I got to go 66 inside, okay? Let's go ahead and do that now. So, boom, just like that, okay? So 66 on the inside, and the point is 10. Let's try to get a little bit more money back here. All right, there's a 5, 4, 1, perfect. That'll pay me 21. 21. Again, I'm gonna pull this back to make it look like a green chip. So now I have $100 there. Come on, shooter. There's a 10. That is our point. Let's turn off our puck. New point. And how about that? The hard 10 this time. Smart the point back on the 10 again. Come on, shooter. There's a 5. The waitress, that is the pair and the tray. That will pay me $21. Okay. So at that point in time, what happens here is I secure my 110, okay? I know my rack may look a little bit messy, but in your rack, you can do this exact same thing. You have 1, 2, 3 shooters worth, right? So at this point in time, if you want to go and press it up, you can do that, make it like a quarter. Let's pull that back. So now you've already secured your shooter there. And there's an 8, 6, 2, perfect. That'll pay me 21, okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop down $1. I'm gonna make it look like 30. I'm gonna rack $10 back into the rack. So now this looks like 30, just like that, okay? There's the 5, 3, 8. Nope, back at it again. It'll pay me 35. Let's drop down $2. Gonna make it look like 42. So 30, 42. Sometimes I'll collect the 50 for 1, and then I'll go to the $60 bet. So incremental increase, just a couple units at a time, right? And there is another 8. Perfect. Again, that's my 50 for 1 that I like. It's gonna be, hit the red chips here. That'll be 50 for 1. Just go ahead and collect that, put it back into the rack just like that. Okay. 516, okay. That'll pay me. I'm telling you, we've had some good rolls here. This does not always work out like this. Just so happened on this rollout, it's went well, right? Put the $10 back into the rack. That will now look like 30. Let's pull these back. I think you kind of get the idea, right? One hit regression, turn it to 66 inside. Now at this point in time, you know what? I've gotten a couple hits out of it. That will pay me 50 for one. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this one back. That'll be my 50 for one. And then that's gonna take this bet here, which is $31, comes back to your rack. And now you have a $60 bet sitting there for you. So you don't have to pull, you don't have to drop the dollar that last time just because they'll actually pull it off the top. Just a couple little tricks you'll see that the dealers do. That's aces. That's a dots in both places. Come on, shooter. And that is your 5-2-7, okay? That's okay. We had some pretty good runs there, pretty good rolls. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull everything back here. I'm going to count it up. I feel like you got the idea, right? 110 inside, get the hit, go down to 66 inside, recover the rest of it, get your 110 set up for your next 2, 3, 4 shooters, and then roll with it, okay? All right, so we're going to go and count it out. I know it looks like a mess like this. Let me try to straighten it up a little bit. Remember, we started with $750, and let's see what we ended up with. Okay. Oh, throwing chips everywhere. Not too pretty. Go ahead and set these up. In your rack, you can do it however you want to. In this case, it didn't work out too well. This is the way I had them all. But totally up to you how you want to display your chips. All right, so it's great. You should do it to the blacks here as well. All right, that should be close to 500. Let's make sure it's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5, 6, 7, 50. Okay, that was my starting bankroll. Let's just move it over to the side. That's what we started off with, $750. Let's move these over to the side. And now everything else here is profit, right? So you got 1, 2. That should be $100. Let's check. So 25, 50, 75, 100. It's close to it. All right, so here's what we have. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I got an extra one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 25, $450 profit. What? Guys, I'm going to tell you, that is a very good rollout. It does not always work out this way. Those first couple of shooters, we had some really good hands, or really good rolls, especially with the come out sevens. That happened at least twice. Perfect timing when the puck was hit. But this is a nice grindy system. Tell me if you like this type style of play. Again, you have a regression. You're trying to recoup your initial bankroll back. You're trying to secure 2 or 3 shooters. Is this something that you're willing to play out there in the casinos? Let me know. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the content. Actually, you know what? I didn't even think about it. I left some money, extra money here on the table. That's all right. Over $450. I'll take that any day of the week. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the content. Until next time, mark the point. Stay awesome.